Welcome to Monday, March 6, 2023, your day weather podcast being brought to you by YDOT and also being brought to you by Cowboy State Daily. Check them out at cowboystatedaily.com or on their Facebook page. Chilly March temperatures, more snow chances coming, especially for the northern areas. It's going to be a chilly, active weather pattern this week, especially mid to late week. We're going to start the week kind of where we left the weekend, with occasional mountain snow. A little bit of snow shower activity will continue on the plains, off and on, like it has really for the last week. Then mainly the northern areas, and I'll highlight that here in a minute, are going to see the best chance for snow with a stronger system arriving late Wednesday into Thursday. This will get northeastern, eastern Wyoming, south North Dakota, parts of Nebraska, and the mountains. The system is taking a northerly route. So it's going to be the northern plains getting the hardest amounts of winter weather conditions. Areas along and south of Interstate 70 is going to kind of miss out on most of that system. More rain and more snow coming to California as the moisture pipeline will just continue. And we're going to continue in a very active weather pattern well into the middle of March, with just a lot going on in the Pacific to churn out more unsettled weather. Taking a look at some awesome photos that have come in over the last couple of weeks with all the winter weather. With the wind and the snow, you sometimes get what are called snow rollers. We did get some instances of this last year. Thanks, Joel, for sending this in. This came in last week after more snow and more wind, where especially this time of year where you can get a little bit of a difference between the snow being a light fluffy snow, then it warming up, then the wind's picking up, and that warmer temperature pattern, the wind, making it a little bit easier for, just like when you roll a ball for a snowman, the wind picks up the snow and makes these snow rollers. And we certainly are going to have more opportunities this spring season to see these. The satellite imagery today highlights a couple of things. Another patch of Pacific moisture right here that'll be moving through the region today, producing more mountain snow and snow showers on the plains. This swirl of clouds right here shows a well-formed low just off the coast of Washington State, and you can see it here on the 500 millibar pattern. This 500 millibar pattern has been the same one going back to late last week. So it's just sitting there, and it's spitting out these little disturbances that are coming through the Rockies, producing mountain snow, occasional snow showers on the plains, and keeping it cool and unsettled. And this pattern is going to stick with us today, tomorrow, and into early Wednesday. But a piece of that system will move out midweek. So this is through Wednesday morning. So through Wednesday morning, central and northern California, more moisture. Then you can see there's a slug of snow coming into the Wasatch. There's going to be an area of snowfall over the next 48 hours over the North and South Dakota area, eastern Montana, northeastern Wyoming, then into the mountains of Wyoming and far northern Colorado. But you can see along and south of I-70 here, there's really not too much going on, at least here for the first part of the week. So this is the first round of weather through Wednesday morning. So you can see it's going to stay active, just enough to be a nuisance, especially for traveling, but a bit more widespread up into this area here. And this same area here is kind of the bullseye for the second wave. And here's the second wave. This comes in Wednesday night, Thursday morning, a bigger piece of that storm coming off the west coast, which is still there, still stuck there, is going to swing through. And as it swings through, it's going to intensify a bit over northwestern Iowa and over eastern South Dakota and become a bit more of a organized storm, but it becomes a more organized storm once it leaves the east side of the Rockies. That's why this is going to be more of a North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota storm, a northern Nebraska storm instead of a Rocky Mountain storm, but it still will produce a fair amount of winter weather. And you can see it right here. This is why the Dakotas and northern Nebraska into Iowa, Minnesota here in the bullseye. But notice the northeast corner of Wyoming and southeastern Montana right here, we'll see light to moderate snows, wind, and some very cold temperatures with the second wave coming through. Again, this is going to be along and north of Interstate 70, favoring those northern areas with the coldest temperatures and the most snow. More west coast precipitation here as it just continues to pile up. And then here's your second round of snow. So for you folks in the Dakotas, be ready for a lot of winter weather and winter storm conditions this week. Northeastern Wyoming as well. The northern half of Nebraska from the northern panhandle through the Sandhills up into the northeastern areas, up around Sioux Falls, into northeastern areas of Nebraska, northwest Iowa. Going to see plenty of winter weather. Snows lighter along the I-80 corridor, thankfully, but still enough to be causing some travel problems. And this is your 7-day temperature anomaly. We talked about a cold start to March, and at least through the middle of March, temperatures on the whole will be colder than average. I do expect that maybe this weekend, some moderation in temperatures briefly may sneak in. But for most of this week, we are going to be well below average with temperatures. Have yourself a good Monday. We'll update you tomorrow.